Welcome to Extra Class Online Academy, your #1 hub for free quality education, anytime, anywhere. We offer a wide range of online lessons covering ZIMSEC subjects from Form 1 to Form 6, Cambridge IGCSE, South African Matric from grade 10 to 12, and many other valuable courses to help you succeed academically and beyond. Whether you're preparing for exams, catching up on classwork, or learning something new, we've got you covered, and the best part? It's all absolutely free, no matter where you are, in Zimbabwe, South Africa, or across the world. Education should be accessible to everyone. At Extra Class, we believe in learning without limits. So go ahead, subscribe, explore our lessons, and join thousands of learners already upgrading their knowledge the smart way. Let's grow together. Extra Class Online Academy, learn free. Learn smart. Learn anytime.
Welcome to Extra Class Online Academy. This is a place where we give you free resources to use for your studies. Before we go further, please note that we also do have paid lessons, and you are welcome to contact us if you do need paid lessons. These free videos are given to you for free, and you are welcome to watch them, to share the links with your friends. They come and watch. And also, please don't hesitate to watch all our videos. If you do need any video, we are welcome to create it for you and to send you the links. So in today's lesson, we are going to be looking at taking measurements using the instruments and recording data. In our previous lesson, we managed to identify weather, climate, and weather elements. So in this lesson, we are going to be taking a look at weather elements and how these elements are measured using specific instruments. These instruments, we have just started them recently, and we are going to be taking a deep dive into these instruments. To get accurate measurements, you should be able to take readings correctly. So we are going to study how to record correctly. Each instrument is used in a specific way, which means we are going also to study how to use specific instruments. Let us not waste time, and let's look at our first instrument, the 6's thermometer. Before we start, let us take a clear picture on how the 6's thermometer looks like. So here is our 6's thermometer. We can see there is the maximum side, then there is the maximum temperature reading, minimum and maximum. There's the minimum temperature reading, maximum temperature reading. And also, if you look here, this one, it's rounded and it looks like it's pointing downwards. This one has got a pointer going up. So this one shows us the temperature is going up, here is the going down. Here we have alcohol, and this side we have mercury. So this is the maximum and minimum temperature. So here is the metal indexes on both sides, on this one here and also there. Then there is also a vacuum. A vacuum is an open space. The 6's thermometer. So now we have identified it. You can see it. Now let us look at how does it work. The description. The 6's thermometer is a U-shaped glass tube. So it is made of glass. It is used to measure maximum and minimum temperature. Okay. It contains mercury and alcohol. The maximum temperature is measured on the right side of the U-shaped. The maximum, it's here. So here is the maximum side where we can identify the maximum temperature. The minimum temperature is measured on the left side of the instrument. On this side, we have the minimum temperature. The left and right upright tubes are called limbs. So these ones are called limbs. Okay, here are the two limbs that we have. When temperature rises, alcohol in the left limb expands. Here we've got alcohol. It expands or increase in volume when heated. That is when the temperature is rising. When it expands, it pushes the mercury in the left limb to move down and up the limb. So here is mercury. Can you see? Here's the alcohol. It's a bit dark. Then mercury is bright orange here. So when the alcohol here expands, it will push the mercury down, sideways and up, right? See, this is what happens. So when this happens, it means our metal index is pushed upwards so that we can read the recordings. That is what happens when there is an increase in temperature. So we record this side now, an increase in temperature. Right, as it does, it pushes the metal index up. The metal index does not move down when temperature falls, so it will remain on that place. When temperature falls, right, the alcohol will contract and move down the right limb into the left limb, pushing the metal index up the left limb. The metal index does not fall when alcohol moves down the right limb, but remains where it is reached when temperature increased, enabling us to take maximum temperature. So in our country, the temperature readings are taken at 8 o'clock in the morning. So this is how this whole maximum temperature works. Let's continue. Taking readings. How do we take readings? For the maximum temperature, read the figure just at the bottom of the metal index on the right limb. So inside the glass tube, our metal index looks like this. Okay, so we take the temperature reading at the bottom here. This is the temperature reading that we take. For minimum temperature, just read the figure at the bottom of the metal index on the left limb. Again, to reset the metal index, pull down the metal indices in the alcohol and mercury using a magnet after taking the readings to get a new accurate measurement. So since this is metal, you bring your magnet. Okay, here is a piece of magnet. It will be able to stick or to connect magnetically. Then you move it down using a that action alone will reset the instrument. In case you don't have the 6-inch thermometer, you can use an ordinary thermometer to measure temperature. How does this work? To use an ordinary temperature to measure temperature using an ordinary thermometer, you have to use two thermometers. These are the maximum thermometer and the minimum thermometer. Is a glass tube with a bulb and it contains mercury. Mercury is used in maximum thermometer because it has got a low melting point of about 38.8 degrees Celsius. When temperature increases, mercury will expand, pushing the metal index up the tube. So here is our minimum and maximum thermometers. So in this case, we are talking of this one with the mercury, right? And we have the metal index there right inside the glass tube. So when the temperature increases, the mercury expands, pushing the metal index up. The falling temperature causes mercury to contract, leaving behind the metal index. To get the accurate reading, just like in the 6 thermometer, read the figure just below the metal index. So the figure just below here is what we take. The figures there is our metal index, but the figure just below, like in this case, it's at 50, so we take readings of 50. On the minimum temperature, we use the minimum thermometer, which is similar to maximum thermometer, except that the minimum thermometer contains alcohol, and the meniscus, which is the curved part of the alcohol below the metal index. So we have the metal index there. We also have alcohol and our bulb. How does this alcohol is used? Because it has got a low freezing point of minus 115 degrees Celsius. So falling temperature causes alcohol to contract, thereby pulling the metal index down. Right? When temperature increases, the alcohol will expand, but it will leave behind the metal index, so that we are able to get the minimum temperature reading for the day. By reading the figure just below the metal index, this is the side facing the top, we can see the minimum temperature. So the minimum temperature in this case is minus 10 degrees. Reset this. You need a magnet, and then you bring your magnet here. You can pull down the index just to be above the mercury or above the alcohol. So this is how the thermometer or temperature is measured. So temperature readings are recorded in a notebook, a record book, or a chart, such as this table. So here is our maximum temperature and our minimum temperature. We record this over a period of time, and then we use this data to make some informed decisions. Like what you are seeing now is a weekly temperature data. So in a year, we are going to have 52 of these ones. Hygrometer. What is a hygrometer, and what is it used for? The hygrometer is an instrument which is used to measure moisture in the air. Remember, we looked at water vapor. So this is what we are now going to use to measure water vapor or moisture in the atmosphere. There are quite a number of hygrometers. They can be electronic hygrometer and the wet bulb and the dry bulb thermometer that we have seen. So when using the electronic hygrometer, make sure you take readings correctly. So these days it is quite easy, and because technology has enabled us to measure these using electronic devices. So when using the electronic hygrometer, please be careful that you take the correct readings. You have to read the figures exactly on the needle or pointer. Take note that the scale used on the percentage markings, that you are able to get exact reading in between the numbers. For example, in our picture, between 20 and 30, there is 25 marked by a bigger line. So between 20, here is 20, and there is 30. Then we have this. You see? So between 30 and 40, we also have this. So make sure that when you are reading, you read correctly. Two ordinary thermometers are also used to make a hygrometer. One of the two is its bulb wrapped in a piece of clothing called muslin cloth. So we wrap one part of this thermometer in a muslin cloth. Then the muslin cloth is dipped into a container of water. Now, when we have set it up this way, it is called the wet bulb thermometer. A wet bulb thermometer. The one without a muslin and which is not dipped into water is called the dry bulb thermometer. Let's proceed. Right, so here is our wet and dry bulb thermometers. As we have discussed, this one wet is bulb thermometer, where we have the muslin cloth which is in a container of water. The wet and dry bulb thermometer or the hygrometer. So how does this work? Well, when temperature increases and the air is dry, the water evaporates from the water container to cool the bulb. This means that when it is hot, the wet bulb thermometer gives a lower reading than the dry thermometer, which is not cooled. So when it's hot, this one, the water vapor or water here will evaporate and it will go up. When it is evaporating, it will go up. When it goes up, it will environment around. So all this place will be cool. When it is cool, this thermometer is going to record a very low. It's going to give us a low temperature as compared to this one. This one will give us a high or accurate readings. Okay, this one will give us a high temperature. This one will give us a low temperature because of the vapor around. It has got water vapor around, so it will give us a low temperature. When it is cold, there is less evaporation takes place. As a result, there is a small difference between these two temperatures or thermometers. So when it is cold, it means there is very little evaporation here. So let us look at a cold day, right? On a cold day, the amount of water vapor is going to be very low, only very minimum like that. So if this happens, it means these two temperatures or thermometers are going to record nearly similar temperature. There is going to be a very small difference simply because this one is dipped in water, so it will be a bit cooler than this one. When it's raining, no evaporation takes place on the wet bulb, but the thermometer, hence there is no difference between the two thermometers. The concept is that when the air has more humidity, less evaporation takes place.